stay on the cloud. You can go ahead.
We are going to look at Ethereum now. I'm going to start by looking at the market cap dominance of Ethereum at the latest levels, and you'll see that Ethereum came up to the 20% level, which was an area of resistance back in 2018, and then you'll see it here at the May high. We ran into 20%, and now we just tagged it again, and we're pulling back from there. We did not tag the topside trend line, which does suggest that there's more upside available, but nevertheless, and perhaps anecdotally, we have reached 20%, and we are correcting now. So we'll see how that plays out. Turning to Ethereum, the Ethereum chart on a weekly basis, there's really not much to tell. We've had 4 consecutive up weeks, which is, you know, we had those just recently in April, so it's not a major accomplishment there. We did get a bullish outside week off the 61.8% retracement and carried forward there. On the daily chart, you can see that we do have a bearish momentum divergence. It's manifesting itself not only in the intraday charts, but also in the daily chart, unlike Bitcoin. And we're getting that as we touch 61.8% retracement while being above the 50% retracement in this area of price support associated with the highs of late May and early June. I'm projecting that we're going to see at least some type of price consolidation or correction for some time. We really haven't done much since we got up on August 7th when we climbed above the 50% retracement. We were at today's low. We are more or less unchanged over that time period, leading us obviously to this bearish momentum divergence. Obviously, the positive scenario would be for some type of corrective process in time rather than price, where we just move sideways, release the bearish momentum divergence, any price compression associated with the advance, because we've only had a handful of declines during this 28 days of the advance off the July low. So it's been pretty impulsive. Any close below this level here, which is around 2,900, would be a bearish development in my opinion, and really expose Ethereum to a notable decline down to the 50-day moving average, which comes in at 2,432, and perhaps even the 200-day, which comes in at 2,287. It would be a big blow to the bullish narrative, and probably signal that this was just a correct bounce within the context of a much larger decline that could stand out for several months. On the upside, really, it's relatively free. There's just a couple points. Obviously, the 61.8% retracement, but we also have the 261.8% retracement, which is the extension of the 2018 crash, if you will, or major correction. That was an area of resistance back here in May, and also with support back in May, and then in later in May. So that's on the level at 3,587 to take into consideration here if we get through the 61.8% retracement. Other than that, you know, it's all-time highs. Really, I see it free to test all-time highs. And the next extension level of 2018 correction doesn't come into play until over 4,000. So, or almost 5,000, sorry. So we need to hold above 2,900, keep everything in the bullish narrative intact. And the upside really after the 261.8 Fibonacci retracement at 3,587 is pretty clear to the all-time high.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So basically, I mean, it seems like you're looking at some bearish momentum divergence in there, right? But what if everything pops, right? So you will be looking at a potential close above 3,358 for an upswing to $4,000, or what is basically your catalyst for the bullish trade?
Well, at this point, we are still in an upswing. Nonetheless, you know, we haven't had a lot of price progress since August 7th, but we still are are more or less in an uptrend. We did yesterday or the day before, we did break the July ascending trend line, but for the most part, we're still moving up. So I'm not really looking for a close on the upside to say we're going higher. I still think we're going higher. It's the issue is the downside where we have a problem, and that's the close below 2,900. If we don't get that, then we're still in the context of a larger uptrend that should break into new all-time highs.
Okay. So basically, it continues trending up until kind of like support breaks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that's also a little bit different from what I have to share. It does seem like I am the bear in the group. Maybe I'm gonna get wrecked, or you guys basically, walk out of this profitable. But yeah, once again, the TD sequential indicator, right, presenting a sell signal in the form of a green 9 candlestick on Ethereum's 3-day chart, right? It comes at a time of consolidation. During times of consolidation, sell signals by the TD are not, as effective. But I mean, we still have like 2 days and 13 hours to go, right? So during this time, maybe it breaks out of like the consolidation, right? And maybe it moves up to $3,500, $3,600, and then from then on, we can actually, see see this sell signal get validated. But yeah, I mean, so far Ethereum has kind of like met the target that we had or at least that I had for this kind of like descending triangle, right? And now I'm just expecting prices to correct. It is worth noting that from a lower time perspective, I was kind of like evaluating this ascending parallel channel, which it recently broke out of it, right? So now it seems to be retesting it, right? Before potentially going lower. I do believe that kind of like a decisive close above 3,330 will give us or will give Ethereum enough space to continue rising towards potentially 3,500, which is right here, the middle trend line of this parallel channel, or potentially towards $4,000, as Sheldon says, since that is the top of the ascending channel as well. But if we get rejected by this 3,330 level, then I will be potentially targeting something like maybe like 2,880, and from there we'll have to see what happens, right? There is something that I wanted to point out from an on-chain perspective. Sorry that I seem like a little bit exactly. Something I want to point out from an on-chain perspective, right, is that there is no significant area of resistance ahead of Ethereum based on transaction history. I mean, the only considerable area of resistance basically sits between 3,666 and 3,768, where you have 140,000 addresses holding around 1 million Ethereum. So it does seem, from an on-chain perspective, that Ethereum could have the power to continue rising, just as Sheldon said, right? But then again, the TD sequential indicator is giving me a sell signal on the 3-day chart, and the 3-day chart has basically 2 days and 13 hours to go. Now, from an on-chain perspective, I mean, continuing on the on-chain metrics, I wanted to point out something quite significant that I saw here, is that, again, just like Bitcoin, Ethereum's volume has been declining where prices have been going up, which isn't necessarily good. Well, even though Bitcoin got a kind of like a higher high in terms of daily active addresses, the daily active addresses on the Ethereum network continue declining, right? As you can see, this kind of like downtrend on this, kind of like orange bars basically that we're seeing right here. Now, in terms of the supply held on exchanges, it continues declining, which of course is a bullish sign, right? I mean, the less Ethereum available on exchanges, the less the selling pressure that can be in the event of a shakeout or anything like that, right? And now, in terms of what the whales are doing, I I I believe that the most significant well cohort for me for Ethereum is actually the 10,000 to 100,000 bracket, and this bracket has been declining while prices have been going up, which kind of like tells me that this upswing that we have seen in Ethereum since July 20th has been also driven by kind of like futures and derivatives markets, right? Of course, you have also a supply shock. You have like FOMO, right? After the hard fork took place, right? You have a bunch of coins that are like being born, right? So that adds to the fundamental aspects of it, right? But the fact that those Ethereum wells holding 10,000 to 100,000 ETH has been going down, while prices have been going up, has me a little bit worried because it tells me that basically these investors have been kind of like taking profit. So overall, I'll be paying close attention from a technical perspective to the $3,330 level. Breaking above it, I think is pretty much open air for Ethereum to run potentially to 3,500 or 3,000 or even $4,000, as the ancient metrics show no significant resistance ahead, right? But then if Ethereum manages to break, to actually get rejected by that 3,330 level, right? And then it breaks below the $3,000 level, basically, which is kind of like the 100-day moving average right here, then we could potentially see a steeper correction, right? As just like the ancient metrics tell you right here, that the most significant area of support holding this uptrend that Ethereum has seen basically sits between around $3,040, right? Where 300,000 addresses bought $7.41 million. I mean, 7.41 million Ether. A downswing below this price level right here will likely encourage all of these Ethereum holders right here to kind of like sell, right? So they don't incur losses on their positions, which could potentially accelerate a sell-off to lower price levels, right? Potentially the 200 day moving average of 2,500. But that's basically what I'm seeing from a technical and fundamental perspective. And if you guys don't have any questions, maybe you, Akash, wanna show us what you're seeing from a lower time perspective?
Yeah, but from a shorter time frame perspective, not that long. Yeah, for me, like from a short-term perspective, I'm looking at this ascending parallel channel, and right now I see a really good reaction off of the lower trend line here. What I'm expecting for Ethereum is like probably a retest of the 3,331 level. Anything beyond this, if we get a good 4-hour close above this, I'm expecting it to retest the upper trend line somewhere around 3,500 level. But to be honest, from an extremely lower time frame perspective, which is like 4-hour or even 1-hour time frame, I'm a little bearish unless we see strength from Bitcoin. That's because of this supply zone here, which ranges from 3,200 to 3,600, 3,500 approximately. Right. So this has not been able to be breached. Like so far, like any attempts has been rejected by Ethereum right now. We're either going to get a massive green candle here, pushes through the supply zone here, then consolidation, or we get a rejection and then a retest of the 3,000 level, right? But either way, like from a daily time frame perspective, as you can see, there's a red 3 sell signal on the Ethereum time.
Wow.
So this is really bad for Ethereum. But
Yeah,
considering,
that's really bearish.
yeah, but considering that this from 2 to 3, it's happened inside a consolidation, and the way Bitcoin is looking right now, I am not confident on a particular directional bias. I think it could go either way right now, right? Add the supply zone to the mix, it makes it that much harder for Ethereum to climb higher, right? So it's either got to be like a massive pump that smashes all of this resistance level here and then tags 3,700, or it's going to be a retracement to 3,000. And if that happens, I'm pretty sure we're going to break the 3,000 level, come down to, yeah, we're going to form lower low here, and then an equal bottom, a double bottom here around the 2,900 level. maybe attempt to conquer this supply zone again, right? This is what I have for Ethereum.
That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. So basically, right now you see Ethereum sitting in kind of like a liquidity zone, right? That is providing significant resistance. But whenever you look at the IO map, right, you don't see any significant resistance ahead based on transaction history. So, what makes you think that this is a significant liquidity zone?
Not liquidity zone, it's just a demand zone that was formed here. So the sell-off from May 14th to the May 23rd kind of took a break here and here, right? So a lot of sell orders were filled here. And so I'm expecting a resistance over here. That's my thesis. But generally speaking, since the IMAP also doesn't show a lot of resistance, I'm expecting Bitcoin to take the initiative, right? And if that happens, then we're going to blast through this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in a way,
Well,
if I were to pick sides, I'm 51% bullish on Ethereum, is what I would say.
okay. Okay. That's really good to know. Because yeah, I mean, Bitcoin just basically it's kind of like trying to reclaim 47,000 again.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, that's kind of like a good signal for the bulls as well as for Ethereum and the whole complex in general. But yeah, we can now, before we kind of like end this technical analysis on Ethereum, it is important to know that all of the people that are watching us right now should subscribe to this YouTube channel, as we have been able to kind of like time the price action of most of the cryptocurrencies within the market. And if you want to, you know, take advantage of this free TA that we have to offer, just subscribe and make sure to tune in on Friday.